Yes, people, FJTV, fresh trim. I got a trim yesterday, but I know it's been a few days since my last video. As I say, man, you know, as much as daily content is the goal, it is also quality over quantity. However, knowing what I know about the YouTube and the algorithm and whatnot, it is what it is, bruv. I'm not going to, you know, chastise myself knowing I got shit going on. First and foremost, you can already see by the title of this video, I don't know if anyone cares to read the descriptions of the videos. A lot of the time I do put, you know, some words of wisdom in there, as well as the links, obviously, my Instagram and my Patreon. Again, without further ado, shout out the person or the individual. So the one who messaged me on Instagram, I think I shouted them out in a previous video, but fuck it. And then someone who signed up to my Patreon, my first patron, and sent us a message through Patreon. Obviously, I sent a reply. They know who they are. I don't like putting people's names and stuff out there, because at the end of the day, it's my YouTube channel. I'm the one putting myself on the internet. But as always, it goes without saying, when I have conversations with people, they already know, or I like to think I articulate myself well enough. But same as I say in this video, nothing but infinite love for anyone, you know, reaching out through the socials, commenting on the videos, liking the videos, or simply taking the time out of your day to watch the videos and listen to what I got to say. And even for the people in the past who've took the time to comment negatively, you're helping me with the algorithm anyway, yeah? There's no such thing as bad publicity, kind of. But anyway, I know that's almost 2 minutes gone. As I said, I might have the title of something to the degree of explaining everything, because as always, initially, as soon as I think to myself, I've got like a human level sort of video to make, which for this one, it was going to be geared around wet dreams and semen retention again. I know, shock horror, I talk about semen retention again. But specifically for, like I said, the conversations I've had with people in recent times, not just the ones I mentioned, but people in my daily life I've known for years or whatever. But as always, bruv, the second I do the slightest bit of meditation, the second I do the yoga pose, I did a video on, again, shameless plug, go check that out, as I see 222 on the timer, I saw that. As soon as I do that with the breath work and whatnot, and as I've mentioned, and I'll say again in this one, when you do get that psychedelic feeling, that I'm assuming it's dimethyltryptamine being released in my lungs and my mind, but ultimately, bruv, seen through the veil of illusion, my immortal soul, seen through the illusion of this matrix simulation, which is what we're in. Whether you believe that or otherwise is up to you. But I feel like, to a degree, I am preaching to the choir with this YouTube channel. But again, the second I do that, bruv, I'm like, of course, there's levels to this game. Of course, it's not even a burden. It's my duty to talk about stuff that's deeper than just the surface level stuff. Even though with SR, I've spoke about plenty of times and I've spoke about the depths of it. Same with the wet dreams, but I knew I had to, this video was always meant to be deeper. So I've got the notes to my left. I made the notes. I'll happily admit I got the caffeine in my system. And whether you can see from the background, the ones with the good vision will probably have clocked. But I'm at the park, I record videos in. Just quickly for context today. Again, like I said, I don't want to drag this video on longer than it needs to be. But we've got plenty of time before my training session, obviously the Muay Thai that I've been focusing on this year. And yeah, as I was saying, caffeine in my system, I was going to record a video, then I was looking at the time and I thought, you know what, my plan, what I want to do, I want to come to the park, I want to go for a walk in nature, I want to meditate in the spot I've meditated in for a while now, here and there over time, in a specific spot where there's a tree. Imagine my whole arm is the tree and the collection of branches, and as it's coming out of the ground, there's a spot I can stand in or crouch in and meditate and connect with the tree by touching it. I'll get to that, because as I said, there's levels to this video. Do that with the breath work, as I said, and then come back, record this video, and then go and train. So cool. Same like I said, I know when I have the caffeine in my system, sometimes I can get a bit tongue-tied on tangents. I can start to talk about something, go off on a tangent, then start to talk about another thing to add context to that tangent, and then I go off on another tangent. But I always bring it full circle in these videos, yeah, just as the time hits 4:44. I'm not going to keep doing that throughout the video, or I'll try my best not to. But as I said, we'll see what gets exhausted first, my phone battery, my phone memory, or me speaking, or the time I've set myself before. It's time to go and train. So again, like I said, without further ado, first and foremost, as I say, we are in a simulated reality. You are an immortal soul in a simulated reality. Understanding what that truly means, that no matter what happens, the darkness will never win, yeah? Because even in the worst possible quote-unquote scenario of potentiality, we can control or delete ourselves from this simulation. And I'm not talking about self-deletion. I'm talking about this simulation collapsing in on itself. The evil that exists in this realm, the negativity, the artificial intelligence, again, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to point at and say, that's what I'm referencing. But it stays in here and we get to leave, yeah? So I could lock off the video there, to be quite frank. Obviously, you know, future Josh will probably chop that up into a YouTube short for myself, which again helps the algorithm, wink wink. But again, like I say, man, not letting the negativity into your internal world. The same way I'm sat in my car, which is a perfect analogy for the car being my body, me being my consciousness or my soul, and I'm able to look out of all these windows at the external. But no matter what, no matter if every entity came and started trying to punch the windows through, they can't get to me. And obviously, jokes aside, banter aside, let them try. Again, jokes, because even if it's like World War Z, bruv. Yeah, I know I'll get to that later in the video. Like I say, with the meditation and the breath work, cool. As I come out of a psychedelic feeling, and my first thought is to just start shadowboxing, because I'm like, I know I'm unstoppable. But anyway, again, quickly for context, because it's on the tip of my tongue, it's in my mind. And as I said, with the caffeine, I might forget things here and there. So I'm just going to say every thought that comes to me to a degree if I feel like it's beneficial to the video. I'm in pretty much a similar spot with a similar trim, wearing, I know I've got a jacket on, but the same t-shirt, I think, but I'm 99% sure I'm correct. There's an older video I watched for about 30 seconds this morning, or this afternoon, earlier on. A video, again, shameless plug, it's on the Patreon, £5 a month if you want to support the channel. I don't expect anyone to put the hard-earned money into my pocket, but the same way I said, shout out the person who recently joined. Like I said, there is gems of wisdom, which, like I said, it's not just because it's Josh saying it. It's the wisdom I'm tapping into through certain specific practices that you can also do. Keyword there being practice. What is the phrase we always hear? Practice makes perfect. AKA anything you do every day or every other day or every week or bare minimum once a month, bruv. You're going to get the benefits of said practice. Yeah, so again, like I say, with things like meditation, the breath work, certain yogic stretches or practices, whatever, again, mouth noise you need to hear to articulate what I'm talking about. Ultimately, my big thing, and it's been the same for a number of years, it's muting out everything, no matter how dark certain things may seem or as they get, or the reality of your current life circumstances. You can still mute it all out, not because you're putting a blindfold on, not because you're putting your fingers in your ears and closing your eyes like a child and saying, no, I'm not listening. You are simply, for even a fragment of time, which is still illusory, but we can still perceive it and feel it's passing through simply breathing. Yeah. I was looking at the timer while doing that, yeah. And focusing on your internal world and what does your soul tell you, bruv, yeah. Same way as I said with connecting with nature, because these trees been a perfect example of standing the test of time. Plenty of the trees in this park are older than me and every other human on this car park combined. Yeah, if you want to get deep with it. So that was a thought I had earlier as I was meditating in the trees, when it was like, this area has probably seen countless individuals walking past, the conversations, those individuals' lives, battles, good and bad things. Hey man, maybe people getting down and hey, doing whatever in the park, yeah. Moving on from that, as I was going to say, you know what? Let me get on to the first point with wet dreams. But that's what I was going to say, because I almost forgot. Watching that older video of myself in the, like I say, similar clothing, similar spot, talking about, I was talking about at the time, similar attention and celibacy, and I spoke about wet dreams, and the shorts are still on the channel. Some of them might recognise, like I said, I got a similar trim and I'm talking about them. It's some of my oldest shorts, so if you can see the synchronicity, if you even want to call it that, or the connection, then cool. But as I said back then, even back then, brother, and I'm 99% sure it was September 2022. So You can do the maths yourself on how long ago that is, but September this year, that'll be 2 years, bro. It's well over a year, whatever, yeah? Even back then, saying, because I knew what I knew, I've gained more wisdom and knowledge along the way. As I said, that's not an ego. That's not Josh saying he's so smart and intelligent. As I've already said, it's with practices. Continue to walk this path. There's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path, yeah? And like I said, bruv, me understanding with this YouTube channel, when I had the vision back in the day, it was always deeper than the financial incentives, always deeper than the YouTube ad revenue of me seeing people from back in the day making YouTube videos and hundreds of thousands and millions of views and the money, fame and fortune that comes along with it, which again we can extrapolate and do the mental gymnastics of, as I said, the money, which can bleed into the cars, the clothes, the women, the experiences, whatever. It was always deeper than that. It was always me going on this journey, awakening my soul to the deepest levels and the most inspirational, spiritual wisdom that I can tap into through this divine connection to infinity. If you want to call it God, the universe, the oversoul, your higher self, whatever. Again, whatever mouth noise you need to hear to understand what I'm talking about, that you already know what I'm talking about. And it's anything I say and anything I'm talking about and anything I say for myself, you have that power. Male or female, yeah? Young or old, yeah? Again, moving on from that. As I was saying in that older video when I'm talking about the wet dreams, not been embarrassed about it. I'll get straight into that human level topic and then we'll go from there. Let me have a quick look at my notes. I know what I'm going to say. Yeah, because I was watching a couple of older videos. So, as I said, on a human level... Let me take this off because I'm getting hot, bro. Hey, man, just because it's April and it's spring, don't let England fool you, bro. It'll be hot when you think it's cold. It'll be cold when you think it's hot. You know what I mean, bro? Anyway. So a wet dream. So whether you like it or not, the reality is when it comes to the semen or attention, you are now on day 0, bruv, yeah? Now, as shitty as that may seem, as it may feel, let's look at the facts. As I said, you're on day 0. Have you lost your spiritual abilities? I'll get to that. Have you lost energy? Yes. You can look down and you can see it with your own eyes. It's the same as a child falling over and scraping your knee and you get a grazed knee and you bleed a little bit. Have you lost energy through your blood and your life force? Connect the dot in your own mind of what I've just said, yeah? The answer is yes, as we know, of course, yeah? It's up to you to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, clean yourself up, and keep it stepping, keep it moving. Bear with us, I'll put some water into the system. Now, first and foremost, the worst thing you could do is then say, well, I am on day 0, like Josh said, so now the streak's ended, I guess I might as well look at the pixels like I've done for however many years with this addiction, which is what it is. And then I can have a conscious relapse because you were, you know, unconscious while asleep. And as I said, you know, watch the pixels, relapse, get that dopamine spike from simply typing in that website. The dopamine spike of looking at the pixels of your brain gets flooded with all this demonic sexual imagery, which is what it is. I'm not saying sex between a man and a woman or multiple women and a man or whatever else you may be watching. Hey man, there's levels to the game. I'm not going to say this or say that, but let's keep it on the straight and narrow and say between a man and a woman. I'm not saying that act in and of itself is evil or demonic or whatever. Of course not, yeah? But you watching it through these technologies, yeah? The same way if I locked my phone screen, I could see my reflection because it's a black mirror. I don't even need to get on that tangent because I understand I'm preaching to the choir. I understand you are all more than intelligent enough to know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that, yeah? So let's put that to one side. As I said, that demonic imagery. We know why they want us to do that. I'm not even going to get onto that tangent because it's just going to take up more time. That dopamine spike of watching it. That dopamine spike of maybe thinking, oh, remember that video from back in the day that every now and then has popped into my head, or I've seen a woman that reminds me of that model. Hey, no shade, yeah, I'm not going to be rude. And then you watch whatever, You go through the motions. Again, that dopamine spike of going through the motions. You know what I'm talking about, yeah? And then the pinnacle of the dopamine and whatever other chemicals and hormones are being released, literally released as you relapse. And you have an orgasm and ejaculate and lose more of your vital essence that within contains your life force that as a man is within each individual sperm is a blueprint of your genetic makeup that with a woman, obviously as we know, you know, even a 7-year-old will probably know what I'm talking about, but make a baby, yeah, losing that energy that when you retain, you are able to utilize said energy to tap into your spiritual powers. Now, the same way I said in a recent video, the reason why, another reason I knew I had to get on the YouTube thing, I knew I had to put myself out there, hey man, bait face on the internet for potentially the world to see. Now again, I like to tempt fate with that and be like, let the fucking whatever, let them, I dare you to let my videos get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views. Because, like I said, bruv, yeah, you already know. But the same way I've done channel purges and remove videos is because, like I said, I know I'm always evolving. I'm always bettering my way of putting out content, my way of articulating myself and explaining what I'm thinking and getting these thoughts out of my brain, articulating it in the correct way and putting it out there so people can gain all the wisdom and utilise said wisdom and utilise the knowledge for themselves. So you can get the benefit, the same benefits as myself, if not more. Yeah, cool. Again, another reason why I knew I had to put myself out there and talk about these topics is, like I said in a previous recent video, is when I do look at the quote-unquote spiritual stuff, there is, from my perspective, and I'll say it as my opinion, too many men in that community that are coming from too much of a feminine energy point of view. And as I said, and it sounds graphic and crude, but it is almost like they are castrating themselves, almost like they are completely cutting off that masculine part of themselves that they may talk about simmer attention, they may talk about the spirituality similar to myself, they may talk about the fact that we're in a simulation. But then, as I said, as soon as I think they're on the straight and narrow, same as myself, they'll take a big left, which is obviously that direction. I was going to go that way. But the way this is on the mirror effect, it will flip anyway, so I'll go that direction, which is my left, your right, but whatever. And they'll say something that I fundamentally disagree with for a multitude of reasons, but most of the time it is simply, as I said, you are cutting off that most important and vital part of your masculine energy. My darling, as the young lady pulls up and waves to the lad next to her, not to me, but it's all good, because banter, I'm just commentating on what was happening in real time. But as I was saying, because they are, for one reason or another, not admitting the fact and the truth, the same way there are masculine and female humans, I was going to say entities, but the fact that there are simply male and females in this simulation, there is male and female in nature. Of course it's duality, of course it's the yin and yang. I can get deep on that, but I won't. I'll keep it on this path to articulate the point I'm making. As I said, they are cutting off themselves from that vital power that, lo and behold, as I said at the beginning of the video, no matter what dark, evil, demonic forces, I use the phrase and I'll say it again for this video, let the hordes of Babylon come marching, bruv, yeah? No matter who they are, no matter what they are, no matter what way they manifest and present themselves to us. Us as the male vessels, but also the women too, but specifically us as the man. There's a reason why you have that raw masculine energy that I'm controlling right now to not start shouting and getting animated and aggressive at the camera. But you know exactly what I'm talking about. And there's a reason why you feel that more on the seam of retention. But you can have it go in, I'll admit and agree with, in the wrong direction if you're not harnessing and channeling it in the right way. But as I said, with the spiritual stuff, there are too many men, quote unquote, you know, whatever, like I said, no shade, no, I'm not saying this to be rude or negative, it's simply my observation and opinion, and I'd happily have any discussion and discourse with anyone willing to have an adult conversation. However, they're losing sight of the reason why we have that energy and the reason why we have that power. It is because you could put one of us against an infinite potential number of enemies, or a group of us against however many enemies or forces or whatever, as I'm saying. And that energy will carry us through any pain, suffering, and like I said, negativity, bruv. And I'm not saying that the women can't do that, but a thought that really came to me today was, I really do believe all a woman needs to do to tap into that spiritual stuff is fasting, if she even needs to, while doing the slightest bit of meditation, the slightest bit of yoga. And women are more naturally flexible than us men anyway, yeah. I know I'm making blanket statements, but it is what it is. And bruv, little bit of meditate, and bruv, and they're there. And there's a reason why, again, like I said, most of the stuff you see, these women, these girls, when they are on this spiritual stuff, again, in the social media and the, you know, the mainstream narrative, the reason why a lot of it seems like it's something that you'd be like initially inclined to be like, oh, I'm not into that, or I'm not doing that, because there's a reason why it can come across so feminine when a woman does it. However, I know I'm getting a bit off topic and on the tangents again with the wet dreams, just to bring it back full circle. Like I'm saying, yeah, as we're 20 minutes in, probably about a third of the way through the video for what I'm planning to do. We're on day 0. The worst thing you can do is to load up the pixels and relapse while you're awake. Now, again, quickly touching on something I see, specifically on YouTube comments, but sometimes on Instagram comments, when people are talking about this practice. And it's quite often they're asking whoever's making the video or putting the post up or whatever, because again, they are seeking wisdom that, like I say, no one is your guru. I'm not your guru. You are not mine. Nobody is anyone else's. Yeah, we can listen to each other. We can have the conversations. We can help one another. But ultimately, you must help yourself. You must sit down, meditate, go within, focus. Like I said, mute out the negativity, mute out the distractions, focus on yourself, understand why you are here. There is a reason why the Matrix films exist and why they were so on the nose and on the money. And there is no accident to anything. Coincidences and synchronicities are one thing, but when things are outright, flat out purposeful, that is another. The first Matrix film is understanding and articulating what the Matrix is. The second Matrix film, The Matrix Reloaded, is to understand why we are here. And the third one is to understand how we are going to break out and whatever. And obviously they made the fourth one. I'm not going to get deep on that. We know where I'll go on with that. But specifically with the second Matrix video and Matrix film, and like I'm saying with the meditation, you know what the Matrix is. You don't need me to say it. As I said, it's a simulation. You can keep it as point blank and simple as that. You can keep it as simple as thinking I'm basically in a GTA lobby. And a GTA online lobby, yeah. I got a deal with everyone else in here, yeah. Same way, bro, we've all seen the memes. You see the people pulling up in the GTA car meets and someone comes along and blows all the cars up with a bazooka. And it's like, haha, banter, whatever. You get what I'm saying? But again, as I said, why are we here? Why are you here? You have a specific life trajectory to play out, like a stage play, like a Shakespearean stage play, like a movie that it plays out, like a symphony, orchestra playing out, yeah? And it's simply the experience. And as I'm saying, it doesn't mean it's predetermined. It doesn't mean it's necessarily fate. The same way in the first Matrix video, I've said it before and I'll say it again, when Morpheus says to Neo, do you believe in fate, Neo? Neo says no. Morpheus says why? Neo says, because I don't like the feeling that I'm not in control of my life. And that's the key point. You are in control. You have direct control of your thoughts, actions. I know I'm missing something of what I was about to say. But let's just keep it at that. Your thoughts and your actions, bruv. Let's keep it as simple as that. Hey, man, it's duality. Let's keep it at the number of 2. You are directly responsible for said thoughts and actions. And as we know, your thoughts and your mind can be infiltrated. You can be manipulated, indoctrinated, led astray. Like I say, yeah. Especially with the SR. And as I said, with wet dreams, and you might feel like you're vulnerable. Me personally, anytime I've had them in the past, anytime I've relapsed on a streak, and like I said, draining myself, when, like I said, the key point as well is once you awaken to the truth
once you take the real red pill, Neo, not this fake red pill they'll try and give you as well. Like I said, these fake gurus that want your time, energy and your money, bruv, yeah? That's why they'll say what they say. That's why they'll have the videos and the YouTube and the podcasts and saying whatever. And then when you think, I'm on board, yeah, what else wisdom can I... They'll be like, oh, do you want to give me your money to buy my program and it's going to save your life? Again, like I said, bruv, the same way I offer a coaching service, that is the simple evolution of my own personal training / coaching business that I've been doing for years. When I was still in a mental box of the Matrix, I was still essentially living my life like a blue-pilled NPC, even though I had crazy spiritual awareness and awakenings from knee high. But again, you take the blue pill because, again, it's almost like you take it every single day and you wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe, yeah? But as I'm saying, the real red pill of finding out the truth of this Matrix, and once you know the truth, once your eyes are opened, all 3 eyes, yeah, 1, 2, 3, your 3rd eye, and I know some people don't even like hearing that because they're like, no, it's just your pineal gland, and basically what happens is, and then with and again, bruv, they're still, you know, well, I know I'm getting a bit off topic on a tangent as we're almost about halfway through this video. Like I said, the real red pill, understanding the truth of reality, and continually, I think I said that right, yeah, continually seeking further wisdom and further knowledge through your own internal power source, which comes from within. First of all, your immortal soul. That's the key word, immortal. No matter how dark and demonic it gets, like I said, bruv, and these entities, no matter what they'll try and do, like I said, same way, bruv, that's why, you know, I'll happily admit I can easily turn my brain off and watch a movie. Some movies are a bit shit, some films are a bit, you know, but there's ones over time where I'm like, okay, I can see the gems of wisdom. I can see why my higher self guides me to see this, because there's a synchronicity here that I can extrapolate a piece of wisdom, whether it was intended or not, whether it's soft disclosure or otherwise, and go from there. And there's a reason why the medieval films resonate so hard here and there. And again, just keeping it on a simple thing of, like I say, like a simple battle of quote-unquote good and evil. Obviously, it's never that simple, but, you know, knowing what we know. Let's say the simple fact of, like, a load of men, and sometimes women, but a load of men, you know, gearing up and going to war for whatever reason and fighting to the death, yeah. As I said, that infinite power source from within, that your immortal soul is within. So even if you're losing said battles, even if you're the last man standing, but you're outnumbered, they manage to disarm you. And because they're these evil forces, again, I know I'm getting on a bit of a tangent, but if you stay with me, I'm going to land. Even if they think, you know, we're going to make an example, we're going to kill this person, or we're going to torture them, yeah, all the evil that comes along with that. No matter what they do, no matter what they try and do, no matter what they may know at the deepest, darkest level, yeah, because all this wisdom, like I said, whether you're the most spiritually awakened guru or the most evil entity that exists in this matrix that may not even have a physical avatar, yeah, they know the same truth. That is why it's the red pill, bruv, yeah. And again, I'll go deeper on that in a second, but just to finish that point I was making. No matter how hard they try, bruv, no matter what they do to this physical avatar, not only are we immune because we're immortal, so they can kill the body, they can't kill us truly, but no matter how hard they try, and they have tried, and they'll continue to try in real time, in this very day and age, in this very second at some other point of the matrix, they can't even grasp onto your immortal soul, bruv. We just vanish into the ether, yeah? And that's understanding that point. Again, bruv, simply filling your lungs. As I can see the people in the car next to me smoking a spliff. Hey man, power to you, bruv. Do what you want to be doing. I know Mary Jane when I see it, yeah. But even just simply breathing in the air. And again, I understand the conspiracies. They're spraying in the atmosphere, whatever. But the same way I went and meditated in this park and in the trees. And I know there's the flight paths because I always see the planes going over. I always hear them loud as fuck as well. But again, putting the conspiracies to one side, like I've said in previous videos. Because again, it's just negativity. Once you know the truth, that, oh yeah, there's evil in here. Okay, it's always trying to adapt and make itself more evil, you know. Yeah, it's almost like we're on two ends of the spectrum. They're always trying to go this way, but it's like the pendulum effect, bruv. As far to the left as they go, we'll just keep going further to the right, and it all exists as an example of duality, which at the highest level we get to the singularity. Like I said, the yin and yang, the two fish, one can never swallow the other because then they both cease to exist. Yeah, again, putting that to one side, like I said, no matter how hard they try, they can't grasp and hold on to our immortal souls and, yeah, this infinite energy within. And as I was saying, with meditating in the trees and connecting to nature, tapping in to that power source, like I said, your infinite soul is within this physical avatar. The same way, I don't want to get on another tangent, but I saw a video the other day that popped up on my YouTube feed that I know why, because when I'm on my spiritual stuff, I see everything saying your body is evil, and the image they used for the thumbnail was that statue of, I don't know what the name of they are, I don't know if it's a Greek something, but it's like, you know, a muscling man holding the neck of a serpent that's trying to, you know, its mouth's open, trying to bite him or whatever. And again, just seeing that title, obviously I clicked the 3 dots and put not interested, because I know what you're going to say. And again, it is leading the people astray. See how I make it rhyme anytime, and I'm a poet and I didn't know it. But your body is not evil, my brothers and sisters. It is simply the avatar that you are plugged into to operate in this matrix. I've said it before, and I've said it again just, yeah. And it's like, so obvious, like, no shit. Now, can your body be used for evil? Yeah, because we already know, and as I said earlier, you have direct control over your thoughts and your actions and what you do with this vessel. The same way certain entities masquerading as humans, and some of the ones that have control for one reason or another over other humans that have a soul similar to us, but it has been stained, and I'm not going to get deep on that, but we already know. That's why I'm vehemently against the celebrity worship. But as I was saying, and I lost my train of thought for a split second, but it will come back to me, so it's all good. That's it. Your body is not inherently evil. Some people may use their bodies for evil acts, obviously, no shit. I'm not saying anything new there. But as I'm saying, this vehicle is your divine vehicle for you to utilise its functions. So again, as a man, shout out the girls, go do your thing. But I'm giving my perspective as Josh, that tomorrow at 10:22 in the evening, on the dot, I'll have lived 27 years in this physical vessel with that ego identity, as I said, known as Josh. Obviously with the FJ TV YouTube channel, but I've not been doing it that long, have I? My soul is immortal anyway. I've had multiple life sims, we already know, yeah, but keeping it on that thought process. Utilising this masculine vessel. So again, on a human level, forget your gender, using your lungs to utilise the oxygen that these trees are giving off. So your carbon dioxide is what they're breathing in as we're giving off, yeah? And that beautiful symbiotic connection is one thing. But even when you just sit down and meditate otherwise, as 3333 appears on the time, as I said, I'm not going to keep doing it for the video, but I'll clock it when I see it. And again, utilising that, sending that energy that, again, we can't see, but we know it exists. I think I spat them, but whatever. And we send it to our higher centres now. We are almost always sat inside our brain through the consciousness, specifically because our eyes are right next to our brain. But like I said already in the video, you are all more than intelligent, know exactly what I'm talking about, so I'm not going to get on tangents that I don't need to. But keeping on that thought train. So there's a reason we're always in our minds, and there's a reason why your mind is always attacked. There's a reason why, like we say, it's the matrix, it's the programming. They're always trying to go for your mind. Your soul as well, but again, that's just a point for later on. As I was saying, we always exist in here. So when we are sending that energy to our higher centres, and our true higher centre, that, again, like we say, left and right, black and white, up and down, in and out, male and female. Here's a burp. Oh, it's gone. left and right hemispheres of your brain. When we, excuse me, there we go, send the energy to the highest point, and that, what's the word I'm looking for? Almost like that singularity, that, it's on the tip of my tongue, I know exactly what I'm trying to say. But basically, that point, if you could do a cross-section of your brain and go to the most central point, and again, as we understand about how, again, shit man, soft disclosure, like they put in the fucking Ant-Man film. I don't even like the Marvel superhero films like that. But like they were saying with the quantum realm, in theory, in the essence of infinity, like I said, your infinite immortal soul within, you could travel infinitely, and there'd be no end and no beginning. But when we send our energy to that point in the inside of our brain, again, through meditation and the breath work and certain practices, then again, you are able to tap into certain wisdom and understanding, and any question, any thought-provoking ideology, you can start to break down and get the points from your internal world and then go from there. I feel like I was backing myself up into a bit of a corner with that tangent, but I'm going to keep it going anyway. As I'm saying, back to the wet dream, see how I bring it full circle. So again, the worst thing you can do is to relapse. Now again, as I was saying earlier in the video, and I've just remembered what point I got to before I went off on that big long tangent, but I'll bring it back. When I've seen people in the comment sections saying about, do you lose your benefits, your powers, whatever. Now, first and foremost, as I said, the simple answer is yes. But rejoice in that perceivable negativity, because it's up to us to transmute any and all negativity for the positivity, and understand we are existing in duality, and it's about balance, and that's the key word. Ultimately, I'm a man, so of course I'm always going to tap into the masculine powers, but I know I've got to balance the polarities, and I know there is absolutely nothing wrong about feminine energy, or even that lustful energy that as a man, as a red-blooded masculine man, when I look at a beautiful woman. However, there's levels to the game, again, not to get on a tangent before even finishing the point I just said I was going to finish. It is a temporary loss of whatever powers you're starting to feel. And again, me personally, and I didn't even finish the point, did I? But whenever I've had a wet dream or a relapse, and again, I just feel it. I feel the negativity is a bit closer. I feel like my impenetrable armour, which is my skin, and this physical avatar, it feels a little bit weaker, which it is to a degree. Again, temporarily. And the same way, I feel clumsy, bro. It'd be like, you know, let's say I'm opening a water bottle, I'll drop the bottle cap, I'll reach for my phone off the, you know, I don't know, counter, wherever I've put it down, or the bed. I might just fucking somehow drop it and it falls on the floor. You might be putting your shoes on, and as you put your foot into the one shoe, you might miss it completely and almost roll your ankle. It's little things like that that I kind of laugh to myself, that I'm like, that only happens because I know I'm not 100% tapped in and dialed in. And staying on that train of thought, I see that in the men around me. No shade, because ultimately you don't know people at the deepest level. But like I said, I just go off what I see. That's all I can go off, is what I see through these physical eyes in this physical reality, even though both of those are part of the illusion. However, I've said it in older videos and I'll say it again in this one. I think I've said it in a couple of shorts as well. You can almost smell when a man is not on retention or whatever, especially when you're on a higher streak. Not only for the eye contact and the obvious things that we hear about, but like I said, I see the clumsiness in other men. And I kind of think to myself, you probably relapsed last night. And again, I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm not saying that to throw shade. I'm saying that because it's a mirror effect and I see it in myself. So again, staying on that train of thought, the wisdom that came to me earlier when I was really going down the rabbit hole in my mind of trying to think of the, you know, best possible way of articulating all these points to make the best possible YouTube video for right here, right now and today. Again, it's only temporary. And let's say you got to 29 days, your goal was simply 30 days. Like I said, forget nofap, it's semen retention, full semen retention. Wet dream is a day zero, whether you like it or not, yeah? And we start again on a new streak. And I'm not one to be like, you shouldn't count the days. Again, preaching to the choir, if you know by now. But my message is, you should count the days. Not saying every single day. is like a prison sentence, like you're doing another little one on a tally chart, like you're in a prison cell. Oh, that's another day. It's every single day is an opportunity to further transmute the energy, for further spiritual awakening, for further benefits, and to continually create the life you came here to create for yourself, because that will springboard into the experience of the life you wish to experience in this physical avatar. And again, the reason for that, the reason why you are you and I am I, right here, right now, the reason why you watching this video as I'm looking into the lens and you're able to look into my eyes like it's almost like we are making eye contact through the veil of illusion of time and space. Because we are here to experience our own individual life sims. You have experienced a multitude of lives already. Maybe you have more to go. Again, without getting on another tangent, but quickly, in this specific timeline, like I said, right here, right now, it's 2024, 2024. If you do the research, the same research I've done as I continue to do, there's certain things that are going to happen. It is what it is. I'm not going to get deep on it. As soon as I say COVID, you already know Wagwan, that's in the past now. We know what's going on in the future. Again, as I've already said a multitude of times in this video, we already know that evil entities and blah, 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 yeah. There are a lot of them, bruv. Like I said, imagine that. Imagine knowing what, I was going to say what I know, but what we know and what all these other spiritual masters know. And imagine that. Imagine knowing you only exist here to play out the evil role and be the adversary. Imagine how that would feel, bro. But if you understand again at the deepest level, they are devoid of feelings. Because again, that is a human understanding. Yeah? Again, I'll leave that point there because I don't want to get too deep, because I wanted to continue on that point I was making. Let's say you were aiming for 30 days, you got to 29 days and had a wet dream, or you relapsed. Now, a relapse would be worse because, again, you've let the demons win. Again, I'm not saying that to point fingers or point shade. We are all grown-ass men, even if you are 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 watching my videos. I'm not going to say too much, but hey, man, from 7, 8, 9 years old, bruv, my life experience as Josh, of course it starts raining. What a beautiful timing of this synchronicity, as I know this park will get quieter and quieter as it's almost time for me to leave myself to go and train. Yeah, I'm not even going to get deep on, like I say, childhood traumas, but there's certain things that, bruv, you're no longer a little boy in that moment. Yeah, from that moment on, from certain things happening. Again, I'm not going to get deep. I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to come from a point of, I've had it tough. You don't know what I've been through. Of course you don't, bro, unless I say it. And I don't know what you've been through. And again, as I've already said, we've got our own life trajectories to play out for specific reasons. The deepest one that we are all here for, and it's the exact same reason, as I've already said, to play out our life experiences as to play out. Cool. Again, as I said, whether you're 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, even then, like I said, in a masculine vessel, I will still extend the olive branch that you are part of this adult conversation I'm about to have for my fellow 18, 19, 20, all the way up until my fellow 26 turning 27-year-olds and beyond, yeah? I realise that was probably a longer tangent than it needed to be, but I said it anyway, yeah? The adult conversation we are having, like I said, about semen retention as men, even though we're immortal souls in a simulation, but as men right here, right now. You got to 29, cool. Whatever spiritual benefits you were starting to tap into, and shameless plug, I've got a video on the channel where I'm talking about a sim retention timeline. I'm not saying everything is exactly concrete in that sense, but I'm saying, you get to 30 days, you're starting to get these benefits, 60 days, 90 days and onwards, yeah, cool. Again, whatever point you feel like you were getting to, you have a wet dream, or a relapse, but let's say we're wet dreams, because that was the thought process for this video. Let's say you lose everything initially and you're almost like back to square one. The positive you can take from that is you're not at square one because you know what you know. And an analogy I use